Hey guys, I wanted to just bring you a short, well, this is not going to be that short. It's going to be about 5 to 7 minute message. We are in the first week of June. It's considered halftime in 2022. There has been a lot that has happened this year, economically speaking. I've been in the mortgage industry since 2008, and there is more fear and more questions in the market in my business than I've ever seen from clients. At this point in time in my career, I have over 2,000, 2,500 clients under management, mortgage under management. What I want to do with this information is bring some expertise to you. One, as your mortgage professional, I've been through the 2008 to 2012 markets, learned a lot as a young loan officer there. And then through the 2012 to 2018, and then through the 2018 to current markets where we experienced COVID and had a government shutdown, and we had an economic shutdown. We had a blimp recession, and then all of a sudden mortgage rates got low and the housing market blew up, and so did the stock market. And so as a 46-year-old real estate investor, equities investor, I've got plenty of money in the stock market. I've got plenty of money invested in real estate. I meet with my financial planners sometimes 2-3 times a month to get information on what I need to know, because I'm not willing at 46 years of age to start over. I've done very, very well conservatively with my money and invested my money over the last 15 to 20 years. And if you go to my budgeting page on my website, Budget with Dan, those principles that I teach, I have implemented over the last 15 to 20 years. And I tell you, if you follow those, you don't have to make millions of dollars a year to be wealthy, to be a millionaire. You just have to make better choices with your money and then put your money to work. But I tell you this because at this point in time in the economy, and this point in time in my life, I'm more cautious and aware than ever. And so I'm leaning on very intelligent people that manage my money, taking what the advice that they're giving me and leaning on mentors of mine that have hundreds of millions invested. And I'm taking this information, I'm giving it back to you. It's my job as a mortgage professional to do this for you. So what I wanted to do with this video is I want to basically break down. I'm going to share a slide deck that I made for you that helps you better understand what is inflation, what is recession, and what it does to mortgage rates and what it does to the housing market. You own a house or you're getting ready to buy a house, and you have questions around what does all this mean to my home equity? What does all of this mean to my home buying decision? And I'm going to share some information with you today. It is really going to give you peace of mind, but I want to make sure you understand this, that I present facts, I present numbers, I present real data. The media presents their version of the numbers and adds a twist to it to broadcast fear. Fear gets views, fear gets people into action or inaction. And I think it's garbage. And I'm seeing a lot of that. I go to the health club every morning at 5 a.m. and I'm on the stair climber and I see what King 5 and Cairo and what the news stations are broadcasting. It's fear. And a lot of the information is actually wrong relative to the economy and relative to housing and mortgage. So I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to share some information with you that I think is going to be vital, and it's going to help a couple of things: bring peace of mind during turbulent times, but also kind of give you the why behind the what in the heck is going on right now. So 5 minutes or so, I'm going to run through this slide deck, but give me about 5 minutes. And I think you're going to find this super, super, super valuable. I'm teaching you how to understand inflation, rising mortgage rates, housing, the housing bubble question marks, and the recession, all around buying a home or owning a home. So let's jump into, you already know who I am. There's no need to go over this. I put together this slide because this is a great intro to what the heck's going on. They printed $8 trillion, gave you 1,400 and sent the rest to their friends and left you with inflation. That's why. Regardless of what President Biden says about inflation or this or that, the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now is twofold. Okay. Number one, we've printed more money than we've ever printed in the history of the world in the last 16 months. Number two, we had a shutdown, an economic shutdown that was called COVID, that guess what? It has now created supply chain issues and just a shortage of a lot of things. And we're working to get back to that. What is inflation? Inflation refers to a general progressive increase in prices of goods and services in an economy. When the price levels rise, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. Consequently, inflation corresponds to a reduction in the purchasing power of money. That's it. Okay. What you need to follow is the consumer price index. That is going to track inflation. Is it going up or down? And I share numbers like that. Since 1940 to 1922, there's really been a couple of government spending. I want to see if there's any correlation between the 80s and 2022. High government spending, oil issues in Russia, Ukraine, Russia, COVID. So 2 out of the 3 similarities. So we're in this is not, unprecedented times. There are very, very similar things that are causing what we're going through right now. This is an important slide to understand. All the way back to 1944. This shows episodes of inflation. What you're going to find in red or pink, this, you guys, anytime you see red or pink is recession. Okay. This line is inflation and the green is wage growth. So inflation, recessions happen, inflation drops. Inflation up, recession happens, inflation drops. This is, guys, what I want you to see with all of this. Up, down, up, down. Inflation happens, drops in 2010. All the way over here into 2020, 2021, right here. Inflation up and it's dropped. So the correlation between all this is it's just a cycle. Number 2, we got to focus on wage growth. Right now, we have a problem. We've got wage growth wages aren't really growing. They haven't really grown in the last 3 to 5 years. And so that's something that definitely I think we should pay attention to. I just mentioned something about printing money, more money than ever before in the last 16 months. People want to blame it on Biden. People want to blame it on Trump. No, they have been printing money artificially since the 2000s. And you can see this by this chart. So stop pointing the finger at different presidents or this or that, depending on your beliefs. And that's emotional. Let's look at the numbers. We have to look at the numbers here. Okay. Governments can also, they're going to print money. They can also reduce it. That's what we're doing right now with the high interest rates. All the government's saying right now is we want consumers to stop spending so much money. That's what they're doing right now with inflation, high prices. Consumers spend less. They get it under control. Then they make money cheap again. How do you beat inflation? Keep doing what you're doing as clients of mine. Number 1, save your money. So ask yourself, do I really need to buy this product? Number 2, invest. Buy real estate, buy stocks. This red line right now is real estate. Real estate is outperforming the stock market. But look, stocks and real estate and bonds is where you want to be. Look at the US dollar down here. But the US dollar is losing money. Stocks and real estate, bonds and gold are all making money. How do you beat inflation? Buy real estate. Invest in the stock market. Stocks are on sale right now. Same thing right here. Inflation and mortgage rates. Guys, 30-year fixed rates are ugly right now. They're in the mid 5s and going up as we speak here in June of 2022. But look at these gray bars. This is inflation. Inflationary times. We're in inflationary times. Look what mortgage rates do after inflation. After inflation. Look at after 2010 inflation. Down. Inflation. Down. So there is some calm after this storm. If you bought a home in the last year and you had to get a high interest rate, rates will drop. When they do, we're going to be in contact with you and we're going to help you refinance your rate. Mortgage rates are going up. This was done in May. The average was at 5.11. Now the average is 5.44. The average 30-year fixed in America, they are going up. They will come down. This slide just represents, guys, the cost of what a point does on a $700,000 loan amount. 1% is approximately $400 more a month. Here's the thing. You may have to pay a 6% 30-year fixed in the next 6 months, but when it drops back down to 4%, you're going to be saving a bunch of money, almost $1,000 a month. There will be lower rates in sight, but right now we've got to get through this inflationary time. As far as mortgage volume, the market isn't necessarily slowing down. So there was refinances in 2021 and 2022. The mortgage industry had record years. We're projected to have the 3rd best year in the last 10 years this year in 2022. So despite what the news is saying, people are still financing homes a lot more than ever outside of the last 2 years, which was refinance driven. Okay. I'm going to skip this slide for the sake of time. This is a big one right here. Is buying a home right now going to impact? Am I going to be buying a home that's going to drop in value? So you take the 7 forecasters of home values in America, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, CoreLogic, the Zelman report, MBA, and NAR. They all agree, if you average that home values will continue to rise through 2022, especially in the Seattle market, due to a lack of inventory and a good jobs market. Okay, home affordability is something that we need to start watching. So during the last housing crash, home affordability was up in the 170s to 190s. Okay, we're at about 135 to 147 right now, still in a very, very healthy range, historically speaking. As long as we're over, let me go back to this other slide, home affordability, as long as we're over 100 with the home affordability index, we're healthy. And we're over 100 right now. We're between 135 and 147. Under 100 is bad. Over 100 is good. That means people are still able to qualify and purchase homes. I want to share this slide. I met with a realtor the other day and I put this together. Inventory. We are very similar to March of 2022 and April of 22 to March and April of 2018. Just a little bit less inventory. Okay. Same thing right here, days on market. We're still in a this is a seller's market still. Homes are getting listed and they're selling within 2 weeks. Percentage of sale price over list price. I just did the updated numbers for May. So we're in June right now. This is an old slide from March, but May was down from 111 down to 106. So still 6% over list price. Homes are still selling for 6% over list price. This is the main reason why we are seeing homes continuing to go up in value and why I believe in Seattle, we're not going to have a problem with home values declining. Homes built in the United States since the 1930s. Each one of these bars represents a 10-year period. So from 2010 to 2020, there was only 5.8 million homes built. Look at this graph from 2000 to 2010, from 1990 to 1999. They averaged about 25 million homes a year built since the 1970s. From 2010 to 2020, because of the last housing collapse that shut down builders for 2, 3, 4 years, they've only been able to build 5.8 million homes. So builders are working from behind. They're not able to build enough houses for the demand right now, for the need. The other reason why we have a strong housing market is we have 140 million millennials and Gen Zers entering the housing market this year. That's the greatest amount of home buyers or home purchase eligible people since the baby boomer generation, and they've beaten the baby boomer generation. 140 million millennials in America will be entering the market. Plus, these doggone millennials have better credit scores than in the past. So look at this. 731 is the average credit score in 2021. Look at this versus the last housing collapse in the 600s. So we have better applicants. And then look at this. Again, applicants with less than a 620 credit score. Very, very few. So we have better credit applicants in the history of America right now. We have more cash in the market than ever. Look at this. More cash in 2020 and 2021 than ever in the United States of America, with the exception of, what was that, about 2004, 2005, and 1988, all right? More cash buyers, that's healthy. People don't like to spend their cash if they don't have to. Is the housing market weak or strong? Check this out. Foreclosure activity at all-time low. Home affordability is in a healthy range. Lack of new homes being built. That means there is more of a demand than there is a supply. We have an increased number of well-qualified buyers, and we have more cash in the market ever. This is a great article I found on CNBC with Blackstone's, it's one of the top real estate investment firms in America. Joe Zeidel says that he doesn't believe there is a housing crash on the brink because of homeowners have plenty of equity, tight lending and credit guidelines still in motion, still in place. Lack of inventory, very little supply for the amount of demand out there, and we've got a good jobs market. There's no housing bubble on the brink of this recession. We talked about this before with inflation and mortgage rates. Look at what happens with recession and mortgage rates. Every time there's a recession, mortgage rates drop too. So this is a recession and mortgage rates. So we've got help on the way. Now, this is the big one, recession and the housing market. Recessions in the housing market. I've had realtors say this. I've had clients say this. My mom and dad told me that we go into a recession, home values are going to drop. That's not the case. Look at this. Since 1980, recession, home values go up. Recession in 1990s, home values go up. Recession in 2000, home values go up. Recession, ugly one in 08 to 2010, they went down, but then they went up. Recession in 2020, they went up. You gotta study the data. Now, here's the thing. Don't be afraid of a recession. Money gets cheap during recessions. Remember, the government's controlling this. They're tightening the dial. They're raising the prices on things right now, inflation. And when to get Americans to stop spending so much money, when they stop spending money, they'll loosen the dial, make money cheap, make things affordable again. And then life is going to go on. So recessions, good time to invest in real estate, good time to invest in the stock market. Both are on sale right now. Okay. If a recession does come, I love this quote by the wealthy dad. I follow him on Twitter. If a recession does come, your best is to play and ignore the doomsday chatter. Your best play is to ignore the doomsday chatter. As bad as times might seem, history has already seen it before. War, high inflation, oil, and the market recovered every single time to all-time highs. Go into a mental silo, keep buying and holding, and ignore the drama. Data over drama. That's my best piece of advice for you. I want to be your lighthouse. You reach out to me if you need anything, or if you just want to talk. If you want to talk through your financial situation, I want you to reach out to me. I have a podcast called the Happy Homeowner Podcast. You can find it on my website. Tons of very good content in under 10 minutes. Follow me on Instagram for more information and YouTube. But guys, just reach out to me if you have any questions, phone or email. I want to talk with you. I love having you as clients, and I want to be a resource for you as we navigate through these times. Okay. I hope you are well. I hope this message finds you doing well. Be in touch with me. Reach out if you need anything. And I can't wait to connect with you. Okay. Bye for now.